Good morning. My name is Andrea Tóth-Mészáros, and the topic of my PhD project is the efficacy and safety of adaptogens. I'm a pharmacist, and beside my PhD studies, I work as a pharmacovigilance associate. In the upcoming moments, I'm going to introduce you my completed and ongoing projects. Our first project's title was Investigating the Effect of Adaptogenic Plants on Stress. This was a systematic review and a meta-analysis. Adaptogens are herbal substances which have the ability to support the body during the stress response. And the relevance of the study is supported by the fact that stress is considered to be the epidemic of the 21st century and a risk factor for several chronic diseases. We used the PICO framework for this investigation. The population consisted of healthy adults perceiving mental stress. Interventions were orally applied adaptogenic herbal substances. Comparison was placebo, and the outcomes in interest were serum or saliva cortisol level and stress level. Our clinical implication was to provide pharmaceutical treatment in stress management with a rebalancing characteristic. Our main result was based on the data of 5 randomized placebo-controlled trials, all of which investigated the effect of 8 weeks or 2 months Vithania somnifera treatment in the given context. And all of them measured serum cortisol level and stress level on the perceived stress scale. As 3 of the studies provided data halfway through the trial, we could also state time dependency of the effect. At the end of the therapy, serum cortisol level decreased by 3.27 microgram per deciliter in the treatment group compared to the placebo group, and the perceived stress scale score decreased by 6.01 points in the treatment group compared to the placebo group. And we concluded that this treatment might be used in the stress management of healthy adults. Our second project is a protocol for an RCT to investigate the effect of single-dose rhodiola rosa extract on cognitive functions in a stressful situation. We find this topic relevant because performance anxiety, also known as stage fright, makes life difficult for many talented people as it impairs their cognitive functions and self-confidence in front of an audience. And rhodiola rosa, one representative of the many adaptogenic plants, is supposed to or suggested to support the body during also the acute phase of the stress response, presumably by having a stimulating effect. Despite of it, it has a favorable safety and tolerability profile, and in one RCT, it was also found to improve sleep quality. We elaborated the pre-study protocol detailed. Briefly put, we will recruit healthy young adults for this study. There will be 2 interventions. The one will be the rhodiola extract itself, and the other one, the experimental stress induction. And both interventions will have their comparisons, placebo and no stress. And regarding the outcomes, we will assess 2 cognitive functions, cognitive flexibility and working memory. Both are based on the evidence influenced by acute stress. We will assess sympathoadrenal system and HP axis activation using saliva samples. The subjective stress perception will also be assessed, and the day after the trial, we will conduct follow-up. And our clinical implication is to provide an overall beneficial treatment for performance anxiety. As I already mentioned, with the 2 interventions and the 2 comparisons, we will conduct a 4-arm study. Sorry. At this moment, we are scheduling the appointment for the ITAP discussion. Our third project was participating in the creation of the Hungarian Nutrivigilance system, nutrivigilancia.hu. This is an online anonymous survey to explore adverse events related to the use of food supplements. Food supplements are widely used, and their use is continuously increasing. This has several reasons. For example, the well-known Dr. Google phenomenon and the increasing desire for using herbal remedies. And our nutrivigilance system is the eighth one within the European Union. The We conducted this project in cooperation with Makis, and our aim is to obtain safety results on food supplements used to scientifically evaluate them and increase our clinically relevant knowledge on this field. The website was launched in November 2023, and it was accepted very enthusiastically by the online media. So within 1 week, almost 30 reports arrived, but since then, none. So the population needs to be made aware of the existence of this website, and there are initiatives from the side of the Chamber of Pharmacists to improve this situation. Our fourth project is, again, a systematic review and meta-analysis based on preclinical studies to investigate the neuroprotective effects of adaptogenic herbal substances. Neurodegenerative diseases are a huge burden for the whole society, considering the related value of disability-adjusted life years. This is the sum of two numbers. The first number is the number of years spent in disease, and the second number is the number of years lost by premature death as a result of the disease. And the different processes which lead to the different neurodegenerative diseases, oxidative stress, protein misfolding, inflammation, and so on, cannot be absolutely distincted. They all might play a role in the different processes which lead to the different acute and chronic neurodegenerative diseases. And adaptogens have been found to support the central nervous system in its restorative processes by downregulating the culprits and upregulating the benefactors. Our hypothesis is that adaptogens slow down or prevent neurodegenerative processes. Our clinical implication is to provide preclinical evidence for further investigations and at the end provide adjuvant or preventive treatment for neurodegenerative diseases. We have a very extended PICO. As a result of it, we have almost 1,000 articles included in our investigation. The colorfulness of this slide is meant to show the diversity among the included studies. And as a result of this, we decided to focus first on the stroke models and acute injury models, processing almost 300 studies. Half of them seem to have data which might be eligible for statistical analysis. All those data are extracted. If everything goes well, we will have data on 12 different adaptogenic substances. The animals used for these models are rats and mice. And outcomes are infarct volume and so on. Sorry, I won't have time. So the risk of bias assessment have been already conducted by the first assessor, and we have two preliminary results. The first one shows the effect of panaxnotogen enzyme pretreatment on stroke model Stragdoli rats, and this shows a straightforward, favorable effect of the treatment related to the placebo. The result is statistically significant. And our second result shows the panaxnotogen enzyme treatment on the neurobehavioral score of stroke models Stragdoli rats. And as the time passing, the difference between the effect of placebo and the treatment is increasing. This also seems to be beneficial. And our fifth project is a registry on the habits and experiences of general practitioners, offices, patients with the use of herbal substances. The idea was based on the nutri-vigilance system, but as to substances that is very extensive, as to obtainable information that is limited, and we would like to focus more on adaptogens, have more obtainable information, and also have the possibility to conduct follow-up. After several interdisciplinary discussions, we created the questionnaire, and we also have plans to motivate doctors and patients to participate in our study. And so we also have our schedule for completing the project, and hereby I would like to thank you for your attention.
So thank you for your presentation. And regarding to your third project, are there any existing Hungarian websites which are similar to your website in some
Oh, you
way?
mean
Yeah.
nutrivigilancia.hu? It's a Hungarian website.
Yeah, but already existing website.
In other countries?
No, in Hungary.
No, not yet. This
Yeah.
is the first one. Yes, within our country, yes.
Thank you.
First of all, I would like to congratulate to you for your nice presentation. I have a question regarding your first project with the Vitania somnifera and
Yes.
cortisol level measurements. So I was just wondering if you included 5 studies.
Yes.
Were the methods for measuring cortisol level similar? Because I can think that it's a key point in this study, because the cortisol level changes during the time. So I assume that it was an important question to be
It was
comparable.
during our evaluation, yes, or assessment. I made the supplementary material for the presentation, and here we can see also the time of taking the serum samples, and it shows that it's a bit. Is it that? It is that, right? Yes, between 9 a.m., 11 a.m. In the morning, whatever it means, and so on. And we counted with this at the risk of during the risk of bias assessment. So yes, that's a problem, that it's not clear. The other approach could also be, or there is also an approach that it would be better to measure the mean of the difference of the means and not the means of the differences, and this would also help to evaluate it better, and an exact timing of taking the samples would help. But this is a risk of bias, indeed.
Thank you for the presentation of your interesting projects. Despite the fact that there were too many to put everything in our minds, I would like to ask you 2 things. One is the term adaptogens. I mean, it's a very optimistic term, that I can adapt my behavior. And is this a group of substances? To my feeling, because I just by chance work in Alzheimer's, it seems to be a collection of totally different molecules that get this stamp, but we really don't know if they really behave like that, and we don't have the classical pharmacology of substance groups.
Yes.
And the second is, you were very optimistic with Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. This would be a dream, of course, but I'm a little bit myself very conservative in saying that, because, as you know, all the clinical studies up to now, with one exception currently, but we don't know if this will really be shown also in the phase 3 study. All the studies up to now were totally disappointed in Alzheimer's, in all the different molecules. I mean, p-tau and amylase and everything, nothing worked up to now. We have the data, but what does it mean clinically? We don't know. So is it not a little bit too much to say I would go with natural substances that I call them adaptogens, that they are from totally different group of compounds, and I will solve the problem of neurodegenerative diseases? I think it's a little bit premature.
Actually, my ambition with this project is to clarify the adaptogenic concept itself. So if maybe it's just a fame that there are adaptogens, I'm open for this idea. Or maybe it does exist, and then this and this and this herb is the group of adaptogens, but the others are not. So it's an extended project, adaptogens, and not only Panax ginseng or Vitania somnifera, but my ambition with this is to clarify those things I've just told.
And the second question is, you brought something that is very popular, this stage fright. Mm-hmm. Many actors and so on, they don't go on the stage, although we know them. Don't see it here, right? No, we don't see anywhere. Exactly, this is, I have the feeling that I have this feeling, exactly, that is a door opening for all the different compounds that many of these people get in order to perform for 2 hours on the stage. And there are some studies showing very clearly that the majority of these people, under the question, maybe I will be on the stage, I don't remember what to say, they get preventively a lot of different compounds. And I think there we have to be a little bit careful, because we open the door to substances that they are not drugs, they are something different.
But, sorry,
No, I mean, you say I will use substances to improve the situation that people will abandon
I see.
the stage fight, right?
In our clinical implication was that it would be an overall beneficial treatment, and it's single dose, so not taken continuously. Yes, I don't know, maybe for actors who, for every evening, yes. But then also the adverse events shall be clarified, the optimal dose, the length of treatment. So rhodiola rosa is used for 2 weeks, but not longer. So anyway, there will be contraindications. Too long time of treatment is contraindication, or how should I say?
Thank you for the presentation. You have a really interesting project. I was wondering about the animal studies. If I remember correctly, your preliminary results or summary results suggest that for mice and rats there's some beneficial effect of the adaptogens. I was just wondering, how good do you think these rat and mice models are? Do you expect to see similar things in humans, or is it just?
It won't necessarily work on humans as well, so we know it, but preclinical studies go for, or are always there before we try treatments on humans. So no, I'm still not sure, no. But I would like to clarify it, how it works or investigate it, how it works on animals, and maybe it gives new ideas for further perspectives.
I'm also intrigued by your stage fright project, and you've been planning that for a year now, at least, right?
Yes.
It hasn't started yet.
No, not yet.
And I just wonder whether you know that gun shooting, right? Aiming can be improved immensely by drinking spirits, and the spirits are on the forbidden substance list for these type of sports, arrowing or whatever. So you didn't have this idea to test to test the efficacy, because that could be a very how to say, objective measurement, whether it can settle the nerves. And if it can settle the nerves for shooting or arrowing or whatever, then it may, why not, settling the nerves for stage fright? You know what I mean? It's
I see, and
then
I
it would be
idea.
a forbidden substance.
That's what I'm, so, and it's not the same, because settling and maybe the stimulating.
Is it not the same?
No, I mean, so the idea behind using it for stage fright and not really for settling the nerves, but for being ready for the challenge is those are two different things.
Well,
however, I like your
It's a
idea.
semantical argument, you know. It's
I don't think so.
Anyway, I will talk to Deju about that, because
Okay.
that's very good. Okay.
I was really intrigued by the pharmacovigilancia, or not pharmaco, but
Nutri-Vigilancia, yes, supplements
project.
vigilance.
Can you tell us a little bit more about this project? How many inputs did you receive during the period that has passed since the introduction? What were the most significant findings? So can you tell us something about this?
Yes, I can. So we already wrote a summary about it to promote it actually for the healthcare professionals. And 26 reports came in within 2 months, actually. Most of them within 1 week, and then a few, and then nothing. it was important to us that it would be easy to fill it out, and there would be no follow-up, that the reporters can remain anonymous. This wouldn't frighten them from reporting. So, and we received, so we already could see some repetitions regarding the substances. There are also a few severe adverse events, but and also non-severe. So just that they experienced something which may be related to the use of this substance.
The reason I'm asking is really that we see a lot of patients with supposed drug allergies, and many times it's not just real pharmacological compounds that are culprit drugs, but also sometimes the different supplements that the patients are taking. Of course, this is not necessarily just the natural ingredient, but also the different stabilizers, yes, or coloring material that's inside. And for us, dermatologists and immunologists, allergologists, it would be actually very, very important and interesting to see a living and active database of with these compounds, because we could then tell our patients, okay, go there and see if any of the drugs that you're taking has been associated with the side effects that we are seeing or not, to believe us that it's, even though it's natural, it can cause side effects, because the patients are always, yes, claiming this is natural, this cannot, yes, do any wrong. So it would be really important to...
But also regarding concomitant drugs, concomitant drugs are not, or that is not a mandatory question. There are only really a few questions which are essential for being able to say that is a report. So the reporter, is it a healthcare professional or not, the consumer or someone else, the experienced event, the substance used, and what they, so that's all, but not even the dose, not the length of treatment, not the concomitants.
Because usually when we evaluate adverse events in a clinical trial, for example, then we are always asked, is there any association, so causality with the drugs? What do I believe? Do you ask for that?
No, because we consider it, if the reporter says this substance, taking this substance, I experienced this, then we consider it as an association anyway, and otherwise from service we cannot make causality conclusions.
What Professor Gülay has commented is very important. I'll give you an example. In Germany we have this listing of the most important allergens, and for example propolis, which is a natural product, is in, yes, the 30 highest allergens in Germany in the last 5 years. And aloe vera, it is in the first 50.
Yes.
And of course, if you tell a patient who just takes aloe vera topically that this is, they tell you, you are not a good doctor, I go to the next, you don't believe you, it's a natural product. Mm-hmm. So it is an issue. It's not, and it is. Maybe there are others we don't know, but we see this more and more, that there are substances that even topically used, which is natural topically used, they could induce contact dermatitis at least, and some more, of course, if you take it systemically.
Yes. Thank you for your comment.
I have a question. Congratulations,
yes,
for your presentation. And maybe you mentioned it, I just missed that. Is there also a platform for healthcare professionals to report adverse events associated with natural products? Because that would give a better understanding. Maybe also information would be given regarding, yes, the things Professor mentioned, like correlations.
So they can also report it via this survey. But I had a suggestion to, because at our pharmacovigilance course in this, during our studies here, once I asked the professional about it, and who told that healthcare professionals like to report with their own words. And I wanted to have a platform that they can. So click on I'm a doctor, prove it with something, and then without report without words. But the others did not agree with me.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
I have some methodological question. This PSS score that you mentioned,
Yes.
it's reported with mean and SD or with medians?
Mean difference and
Mean difference and the
SD.
and the SD for the mean differences. So in
Yes.
the articles,
Oh, mean
not
difference and SD. Sorry. So the mean and the SD.
in all articles.
Yes, in all articles.
Yeah, because the score is sometimes reported with medians, but it's not was the case in your situation.
No.
Another question that these materials are going through on the blood-brain barrier, especially in your last study, in the animal studies, we have.
Yes, there are several different molecules which are supposed to have the efficacy. This is also not yet clear which one does what. And, but there are also small molecules. In these studies on rats and mice, they seem to have some effect, but we do not have the results yet, so we will see it.
And you mentioned in your, maybe in the second project research, that there is a socially evaluated cold pressor test.
Yes.
What does it mean, socially evaluated? It's not familiar for me.
It's widely used and evaluated method to induce experimental stress. It goes very quickly, and the stuff needed is so only a few people are needed for this. And the participants are asked to immerse their hands into ice cold water, no longer for 3 minutes, but they can also take out their hands if it's too cold. And during this, they are videotaped. And it's told that also their mimics or grimaces will be evaluated after this test. And it works. There are reviews, systematic reviews on this method.
So they're checking the mimics and...
But not in the reality, actually. So you can only once lie to someone about it. But it works, and it is not evidence-based, but it's used in the practice.
Okay, thank you. Yes?
I'm sorry if I missed it, but have you done the sample size calculation for the stage fright study?
No, because
how will you do it?
I was busy with it weeks long, but I did not mention indeed that the design is absolutely novel. So it's a new design, and we could not find data to use to estimate the sample size.
So it's got to be a pilot study then?
It's going to be a pilot study first.
Yeah.
And we will recruit 20 people per arm for the pilot study. This is the plan.